Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizak. I am a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of the online course Appreciation Academy. And today's podcast is all about how to set goals and actually hit them for once. How many years have you reflected on the past year, decided to make some changes, then you set your resolutions only to find yourself 3 weeks later out of motivation, feeling stuck, wondering why this always happens to you? So a little background. I hated goal setting for a really long time because I never hit my goals. I either set a goal, look at it, and then think it was even silly to try, or I'd freeze in fear after I set the goal and not know why. And I get to the point where I was so sick and tired of never actually hitting any of my goals that I didn't even set them for myself anymore because deep down, I didn't believe that I could achieve them. So why the hell try, right? That's probably what a lot of you have faced. And over the course of time, in training my mindset to think differently, I realized why that was. I was setting goals from a fear-based, shitty state of mind. And when you're in a shitty state of mind, what happens? You set a really shitty goal. And a shitty goal creates a shitty action. And a shitty action creates a shitty result. And shitty results create shitty beliefs. And shitty beliefs create an even shittier state. And that creates even shittier goals. And the cycle continues and compounds. And so can you see why I had such a hard time setting goals? See, I needed to change it from the base, from the core, from the state, the emotional state which I set goals in. So I'm going to take you through my personal process of goal setting, not the boring way that you think about it and then you set a date, but like the detailed version that will help you actually believe that it's possible. But before we do, I'm curious if you've ever lied to yourself and said that you don't know what you want. Have you ever actually lied to yourself and said you don't know what you want? Because that is total bullshit. You know exactly what you want. You don't like thinking about the pain and the fear and the potential sacrifices that you're going to need to make it happen. So let's say, for example, that deep down, just hypothetically, you want to do what I do. You want to inspire, to motivate, to help, to serve other people with mindset. Awesome. You probably already know that, but what might be holding you back from admitting it to yourself is that it might mean giving up something that you've been doing for so long. It might mean giving up another business. It might mean that you need to make a sacrifice away from your family. It might mean that you don't know if you'll be successful at it, but you do know what you want to do. Does that make sense? So you know exactly what you want already. And if you think you do, or if you don't think you do, ask yourself, if I had a gun to my head right now and I have to have an answer for what I wanted to do with my life, what would it be? Because you already know. So I'm going to take you through an exercise that you can use to take your vision and turn it into an actual reality. You can turn what you truly want out of life and turn it into a reality, in not a boring way, a way that helped me break through 5 years of saying there's no point in setting goals. So step one is really simple, and it's the base of everything. It's the base of the belief cycle we talked about a minute ago, and that is changing your state. Step one is change your state. That means, like we talked about, if you set goals from a shitty state of mind, you're going to get shitty goals, and that won't motivate you. So to change your state, you need to change it to a state of gratitude. You need to change your body, do something. And if you don't know how to do that, by the way, make sure to check out my podcast, The Antidote to Fear and Anger. It'll show you how to actually change your state in there. But you need to change your body, change your focus, and change your language. That will help you get rid of fear and focus on what you actually want and being grateful. When you're in a state of gratitude, it is impossible for fear to show up. And when fear is not there, you actually set the goals that you want to hit. Does that make sense? So how to do that will be shown in the podcast episode, The Antidote to Fear and Anger. Make sure you check that out. But you need to get in a great state of mind before you set goals. Otherwise, you're going to be lowering your goals down to something that doesn't excite you. Does that make sense? And if you don't have a compelling vision for what you want out of your life, you're going to feel like you're forcing it all the time. You're going to feel like you're pushing to make it happen instead of being pulled by it. Does that make sense? So that's step one. Change your state to being in a beautiful state that gets rid of fear. And check out my podcast, Antidote to Fear and Anger. That'll help you with that. Step two, what do you really want? Like, what's the vision for your life? What is the outcome? And I want you to make it scary. And by the way, fuck realism. Realism is the fastest traveled road to mediocrity. Don't be stupid and say that you're going to be a billionaire by tomorrow or by next week, but don't downplay your goals because you don't know if you can achieve it. Like, never downplay your goals because of something you haven't done before. When you're fully aligned with what you want, you are going to be amazed at what you can create. So don't be realistic, be a dreamer. Make your goal actually exciting? Would you rather set a huge astronomical goal and come up just a little bit short, or set a realistic goal that's way lower than the big goal that you know you can hit? Even if you miss the big goal, you'll achieve so much more than if you set a comfortable, realistic goal, right? So what do you actually want? What's the vision that you have for all aspects of your life, for your career, your finances, your personal growth, your spirituality, your relationships? Create a vision for those areas of what you want your life to look like. And yes, this takes time. It takes your dreaming muscles, which you probably haven't exercised in a while, but you need to have a vision for what you want. Remember, without a vision, you'll perish. You need to have a vision for what you want, because when you break down the goals that we're going to do in a minute, they need to be leading somewhere towards a vision. So what is the vision you actually want? Take a second and think about, what do I really want for my life? And it's going to be really hard to do that if you haven't done step one, which is get into a great state. Oh, and PS, by the way, don't set a goal that you think you should do. Don't have a vision based on what other people do. Don't do it based on what you see other people rank advancing towards or other people chasing. Set a goal based on what you want. What you want, no one else. That's what's gonna pull you towards it. So that's number 2, is know your outcome, or what do you really want. Step 3 is know your reasons. So write this down. Reasons come first, answers come second. A really cool thing about goal setting is that you don't actually need to know how to achieve something. You don't need to know what, you just need to know why. When your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature. You'll just do. You don't need to have a massive lightning bolt of motivation to strike you in the ass. That's not coming. You'll just find a way because of the compelling future that you'll create. And just saying that you want to create a business that allows you to spend time with your kids is not enough. It's got to be deep. It's got to be real. It's got to be emotional. So to help you with this, I want to share something that I learned from Dean Graziosi. He talks about something called the 7 levels deep exercise. And it takes you so much further into why it's important for you to achieve this goal than ever before. So how does it work? Level 1. You look at your big vision and you ask, why is this important to me? Level 2, you look at that answer and you ask, why is that so important to me? Level 3, you look at level 2's answer and you ask, why is that so important to me? And so on. You get the point. All the way down to level 7. You will be blown away by the things that will come up in your mind. Things you didn't even realize were there. It's going to rip away the layers of pain that are holding you back. It's going to go from external motivation to intrinsic motivation. So when you do this exercise, that 7 levels exercise, write it. Don't think it, write it. It's going to be amazing when it comes out on paper. I started with pay off my student loans to create freedom for my family. And I ended with become the breaking point of mediocrity in my family and finally believe that I'm enough so I never have to feel worthless again. Pretty fucking deep, right? When you do this, you won't ever have to worry about procrastination because you'll be pulled towards your dreams instead of forcing or pushing yourself to make it happen. If you've ever felt like you can't get yourself to do something, it's either because you have crappy goals or you haven't put yourself in a great state before the goals, or something we'll talk about a little bit later in this podcast recording. So step 4, brain dump your action. Now, you have your drive, you have your motivation, you have your reasons, you have your vision and everything pulling you toward that vision. Now it's time to actually set goals that will baby step you to getting there. We're going to reverse engineer now. So you're going to brain dump everything that would move you closer to your goals. Everything. Even like the most mini things that are seemingly not important. Your goal is to create an overwhelming list of all the things that you would need to do to bring your vision to life, and be extensive, down to like the nitty gritty details. I'm talking 20, 30, 40 things on that sheet. And in this step, it is totally okay to overwhelm yourself because we're not going to stay there. We're going to refine, which is step number 5, refine and take massive action. Once you have the outcome, you're in a great state, you set the outcome you want, you know the reasons why, you've brain dumped your action, now you can pick your top 5. Now you can start to set actual goals. So you're going to pick the top 5 things from that laundry list that you brain dumped. Pick the top 5 things that are by far the most important to you, that will bring you closer to your vision. The things that you know you need to do first. The things that will by far have the most impact on that vision coming true. You know exactly what they are already. And if not, there's a role model that's done it before that knows what they are. They're probably the scariest things on that list. They're probably something you haven't done before. They're probably something you've been procrastinating on. And because your why is so powerful, it won't matter. You'll just do it. So pick your top 5. Then After you have your top 5, you're going to prioritize them of what's most important to do first. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your starting point. Then you're going to set a date on number 1. So you're going to, after you prioritize your top 5, you're going to just focus on number 1. And here's the key. When you pick a date that feels comfortable to do, like let's say you decide to get your podcast up and running by February 28th, 2019, and it's January 2nd. When you pick a date that feels kind of comfortable to do, you're going to cut that date in half or even further than that. And that automatically becomes launch my podcast by January 31st, 2019. Don't give yourself an easy way out here. Like, have you ever studied, there's a reason for this. Have you ever studied for an exam and realize that you learn just as much the final day before the test as you did all semester in class? Why? It's called Parkinson's Law. I learned this from Tim Ferriss in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek. If you ever wonder why you get so much done before vacation, it's because you have a deadline that you have to abide by. Darren Hardy calls this success compression. This is a success tool. It is shrinking your goal into a shorter period of time. You are going to be blown away by how much you get done in such a short amount of time. When you prove to yourself that you're capable of so much in such a short period of time, you're going to be amazed by what you can accomplish in the course of a year. You're going to do this with each area of your life. So each big vision, so set that vision for your relationships, your personal growth, your health, your career, your finances, all of it. Know your outcome from all of it, get in that great state for all of those. Write out your vision, write your reasons why, and each of them are going to have their individual brain dumps with their individual refining and prioritization. Does that make sense? Now, yes, this takes more time, but holy cow, it'll motivate the hell out of you. This is how you know what goals are most important to you. You'll know if you take these baby step goals, you're gonna get closer and closer to your big vision, right? So think about this. What's less overwhelming? Creating a business that allows you to quit your full-time job, or getting a website up and running by January 31st, 2019. What's more overwhelming? Quitting your job, right? What's easier in comparison? Getting a website up. Exactly. So you can have faith that you're getting closer to your big vision by setting goals. Does that make sense? So that's step 5. Step number 6, notice the results you're getting and take action accordingly. I heard once that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you keep trying the same thing over and over and over and it's not working, should you keep doing it? No. Try it for a set period of time and then change your approach if it's not working. Keep your vision for what you want intact, but be flexible in your approach. Don't be attached to how it goes. If something doesn't work, it's only feedback. It's life saying, yo, this strategy didn't work. Try something new. That's all it is. It's not, you're not capable. It's not, you're not enough. It's just try something new. That's it. So be smart and notice the results you're getting and change your approach until you get what you want. And by the way, how many times should you change your approach until you get what you want? As many times as it takes. That's what I did with my online course Appreciation Academy. I tried something, it didn't work. I tried something else, it didn't work. So many things didn't work. I failed more times than I can even begin to count. But I never said that I was a failure. I kept changing my approach and guess what? It worked. So that's step 5. Step 6, program, and this is so important, program your subconscious mind with empowering questions that lead you to what you want. This is a huge challenge with goal setting and that a lot of people face. You don't believe you can achieve really cool things. That's it. You don't believe you can actually do it. All goal setting is trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's it. The gap in the middle is called your beliefs. There's a whole lesson in this in itself. And luckily, I already have a podcast that takes you through this in detail called How to Get Out of Your Rut When You're Feeling Stuck. Okay, so the whole point, so make sure to check out that podcast. It talks about this in detail. But the whole point is that you can change limiting beliefs with empowering questions. So you're going to write down all the negative stuff you ask yourself all the time, aka, why am I not enough? Why am I so fat? Why am I so stuck? The list goes on. And you're going to flip it on its head. You're going to turn those into the empowering alternative. Turn it into, why am I more than enough? Why am I so healthy every day? Why is my business thriving? Why am I so kind to myself every day? Why am I worthy of living such an amazing life? You get the point. but make sure to listen to that podcast because it goes into detail of how this works in your brain, like biologically. And it's super, super important because you need to condition your mind with this daily. Record yourself saying your empowering questions that lead you towards what you want and listen to it while you drive, while you do the dishes, while you're on the toilet, when you're in the shower, whatever it is, you name it. So a great way to think about this is to ask yourself, who do I have to become to achieve my goals? And then ask yourself empowering questions that help you become that person. When you combine this with the goal setting strategy, not only are you going to be motivated to achieve your biggest dreams, but you're actually going to believe that you can, which is why you must go and listen to that podcast, How to Get Out of Your Rut When You're Feeling Stuck. Okay, so make sure you check that out. But live in an empowering question that closes the gap from where you are to where you want to be. That's step number 6. And finally, step 7, let go. Let go of how your goals pan out. Put it out there that you want it. Go after it with everything you got. Get excited about it happening. See it happening. Visualize it. But let go of the death grip of attachment to that goal. Don't let it be, I'll be happy when I get to that goal, happy when I get to that weight loss. That goal does not need to come true in order for you to feel happy. Go after your goals for the person you're becoming instead of the goal itself. At the end of the day, that's all you're going to care about anyways. When you're looking back at your life, you're going to care about who you were. That's all you have left when you're on your deathbed. And here's such an important note of this entire thing. Nothing has to happen for you to feel happy. And doing this will make you a more elevated person. When you let it go and you put it out there and you go after it with everything you can and you do it for the growth, but not just the outcome, you're a more elevated person. And when you're a more elevated person, you're in a great state more often. And when you're in a great state more often, you set great goals. And when you set great goals, you take great action. And when you take great action, you get great results. And when you get great results, you believe in yourself more and you build more confidence. And when you have more confidence and more self-belief, you're in a great state more often. And so you set great goals, more action, more results. You get the point. The cycle continues upwards instead of downwards. This is just one of the ways I changed my life and set goals that I finally hit. I went from sometimes not setting goals at all because I didn't believe that they were possible to set. I didn't believe that it was possible to set crazy goals because I never hit them. And I went to setting crazy goals that inspire me every day. And when I did happen to set goals back in the day, I went from thinking it was impossible to saying, hell yeah, why not me? And from doing this, I believe in myself now more than ever. And you can too. You really can achieve amazing things. And I can actually teach you how. If you struggle with belief, head to my website, bradbizjack.com. Check out my free course called The Path to Mindset Mastery. It's completely free, and it is so helpful in instilling more belief in yourself and teaching you how to rewire your mind to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want, eliminate negative self-talk, and finally believe that you're capable of your dreams. It will get you unstuck. But either way, I hope you found this podcast valuable, and please share this post or this podcast, this blog post, if you were inspired by it today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.